road to standing here in front of you was like a huge turbulent roller coaster which never seemed unending. I faced discriminations, discouragements, negativity at each stage of my life. Imagine being a boy only possessed with 50% of the eyesight, being deprived an educational opportunity by the peers, teachers, and the school environment. Imagine being a boy whose principal used to call his father and uncle and demand to take this child away because he's ruining the educational environment. Imagine what I felt like a boy when people used to feel sorry for your parents, as their perception was, this boy has no future or dark future. My dream then was to live a normal life with dignity and enjoy my childhood. Imagine the situation when I was not selected as a part of the cricket team because I could never see the ball. The team that would select would sure shot lose. Imagine the situation where everyone would treat you as if you were a liability. Imagine the situation where teacher would not think that we were worth in investing times and towards teaching me, because they felt no point in investing time towards teaching someone who is going to lose all of his eyesight eventually. Well, life was difficult, challenging, but the show went on. I moved to the US at the age of 11 years old. And I'd just like to recall one positive incident which actually transformed my life. I remember the first report card where I got all D's and 2 F's. I was barely passing and failing. And I remember showing that report card to my American aunt, who was a white American who I went to live with her. And she said, "Honey, considering the fact you've been to the United States for the first time, learning new languages, learning new culture, you did great, but you have potential to do much better." And that kind of clicked. I was from zero, I went, I tried hard enough. I was learning all the new languages, new cultures, but I proved to myself that yes, I was capable. Ladies and gentlemen, without my eyesight, I managed to clear high school with over 90% in the United States. Society's perception was that blind people cannot pursue their dream or stream that they want to follow by commerce. Faced immense amount of rejections by people close to us, but proved to myself and to the world by being the first blind commerce graduate from St. Xavier's College, Calcutta. I had a dream then to be a financially independent. Just like everyone else, I was also aspiring to do my MBA from the top institutes. I was denied admissions by a coaching institute in my own town of Calcutta on the ground that they have no experience in teaching blind and visually impaired. I was denied admissions by the IIMs. I was denied admissions by XLRI and FMS. With great deal of struggles, I managed to get into Symbiosis SCMHRD, and I lived in Pune for 2 years. Well, past struggles, obstacles, challenges has paved optimisms and look at my future with great sense of hope. I'm indeed grateful to the technology which has helped me in partnering my mission and making my journey simple, meaningful, and purpose. I'm a blind PwC professional working for PwC India as a senior manager in the advisory practices. I lost my eyesight at the age of 16, but nevertheless, I became the first blind commerce graduate from St. Xavier's College, Calcutta, first one to do an MBA HR, and was instrumental in creating reservation quota for the disabled across IIMs and IITs and all government-aided Indian universities and colleges. Today, I'd like to demonstrate the power of screen reader, which is an assistive technology. And I'm just using a normal laptop, and the only thing different it's equipped with the screen readers, and I'd like to demonstrate the power and as well as the challenges. So,
4:33 p.m. Alt tab, power of ordinary people. Alt tab, snapshot Muhammad Asif Iqbal. Snap, alt space, menu, system X, leaving menus, edit.
So now this actually, it's reading it out and it can be customized. So it's a Microsoft Word applications. And of course, now let me go back to the Internet Explorer. And
enter, Internet Explorer, blank page.
It works really beautifully.
Google Finance, Google G. Enter, leaving menus, new tab page, address and search using bin edit, about blank, Alt+D.
As I'm scheduled to deliver a session at Global Conference in Cyberspace, so I'm just...
Search edit. Enter, region search edit, GCCS 2017, GCCS 2017.
It tells me everything, and yes, it's speaking fast, but the voice can be customized. While this gets loaded, let me just show it to you how I work on the email.
Snapshot Muhammad Asif, Alt tab, Global Conference, Alt tab, Power of Ordinary, Alt tab, Inbox dash Outlook, data file dash Outlook.
Okay, let me just send a quick mail.
Untitled dash message left, Asnias tab, tab, PR underline Verma tab, PR underline tab, subject edit, Alt+U, PRESENTATION, present A, T at, GCCS, GCCS 2017, tab, message, edit, thin, POSIBLE, possible, enter.
Okay, so
Inbox dash Outlook.
I have sent an email, it reads out emails. Now I would like to highlight the challenges part of it. Like sometimes it has a visual capture, which is not possible. Then if I have to book a ticket, so sometimes the calendars, it can only be navigated through the mouse and not a keyboard. And that's a big challenge. Okay, now here I'm not able to put this in because it only allows the keyboard. So this is the big challenge that it has. It would be a frustrating experience to ask someone to help me out. This worked really well on the Excel sheet. So it tells you exactly which row you are on, which reference you are in, right? And I do not use a mouse, I use a keyboard. Where it is a challenge is it does not read the graphics or the components, but it...
Slide 4, Governor Award. Slide 5, National Award, DSC underline.
Now I'd like to take this opportunity to give you a perfect example of universal access. An iPhone or high-end Android, which is made for everyone. And people like us who cannot see can actually use it out of the self. And I'd just like to demonstrate, even though it's a touch thing. So wherever I put my finger on it, it says map, weather, iBook, clock,
App Store,
home, health. There are accessible apps and inaccessible. If you do not design with an access in mind, it will not be able to use by persons with disability. Let me quickly show you how. Okay, now I'd like to show you how I use the camera.
Flash.
And I'm just going to take a picture.
One face. Take picture.
One face told me, and I have taken the picture. Now I'd like to demonstrate the sophisticated app which is designed for blind and visually impaired. It's called KNFV Reader. So how do I access a hard copy?
Health.
Let me just show you.
Home. KNFV Reader.
So I have launched an app, and now I need to know whether my camera is accessing the entire document or not.
File Explorer setting. Camera tilt row degrees.
The right edge, top edge, it's rigged. So the picture should come quad.
Take picture.
Take picture. Now
Play.
It has entirely reading there, and I can save it. I can do whatever I please. So this is the power of technology, which makes things possible. For most of you, it makes things easy. For people like us, it makes things possible. Thank you.
Alt F4. 11:07 a.m. Title is presentation.
So about 7 months ago, there was a planned surgery for my wife, and I was visiting a hospital to consult an insurance to process my paperwork. A person in front of me was actually decided to go for abortion. When the insurance doctor asked you, why are you taking this, why are you going this for that? He said, doctors have told him that the child born is going to be with Down syndrome, what we call it mentally retardations or people with intellectual disability. I was absolutely sad and heartbroken and started to think and feel grateful to my parents for not ending their pregnancy if they would have known that I was going to be blind someday. Again, I was thinking, if every disabled child would have been deprived a right to live, this world would have missed out a greatest innovation, such as Henry Ford inventing motor cars, such as Thomas Edison inventing light bulbs. I remember about 2-3 years back, I was diagnosed with hypertension. I was 108 kilograms then. Thought came to me that I have contributed a lot to the nation and to the community. But if I continue with this health, this will not be able to achieve my mission. I immediately put it on a Facebook looking for partners or volunteers who can run with me for the next 3 to 4 days a week. No response. Put it up on the WhatsApp group, no response. I was heartbroken, and after 3 weeks I decided to do it, got few volunteers, and then I started running. And I'll just play one small videos which actually take care of my running journey.
Movies and TV. Movies TV. Pop-up. Status field. Dash promo. Alt enter.
I could only see 50%. I was very, very fortunate, and thanks to my father and my uncle and my aunt who took me to the United States at the age of 11 years old. There I remember an incident which was like very transformational. I was asked to run a race as part of physical education class, and I was the last one to finish that race. And my teacher called me up and he said, "Son, I know you're the last, but you can do it. You have great potentials." So that kind of inspired me, because I was the last one to finish that race line, but still he was encouraging, and he said, maybe if I try hard and maybe I can be second last or third last or even fourth last or even be in the top 40. Toughest phase when I was actually lost all my eyesight, from 50% rapid deterioration to 0%, and then of course it was not easy. I was extremely depressed. I was angry at the world, questioned God, why me? And I didn't want to live because I felt that living without zero eyesight would be very, very challenging, no point in living and stuff like that. So, and then I somehow just accepted the fact that I have to live with this for the rest of my life, and I went on. So about a year and a half I was diagnosed with a high blood pressure, hypertension. Then a thought process came to me that, my goodness, I'm only 41 and I still have a long ways to go, family to support, and this is just a starting of all the disease that will enter your body. So I decided, health should be a top priority, and I started running. First I used to run with a holding of people's hand. I would hold on to people's elbow and start running. I keep on practicing 5 kilometers, but then I had a very close friend of mine. He took me to a big park, and there was a 5.5 kilometers long stretch. And then he asked me, now you'll have to run without holding anybody's hand and just relying on verbal guidance. So I ran for about 50 meters, and then 100 meters, and then I was, a little bit fear I was going, and then slowly I started running 500 meters, 1 kilometers hands-free, and today the feeling is just immense. There are, people talk about multitasking, but somehow I believe that it is inefficiency when you are trying to do multitasking. But what running does is makes you focus. Do focus on one task, close, go on to the next. And whatever I'm trying to do, I can do it with much more focus, much more concentration, and of course with lots of energy. If you do not have health, you will never prosper in career. So I think health is a foundation to any individual's personality. I firmly believe, because God has a plan for each one of us. Ignite your inner self to say, yes, I can. The moment that I have that inner strength, everything will fall in place.
So I'd like to play a game with all of you. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. So let's follow an instruction, and I'd request every one of you, forget about the cast, creed, the post, but please participate. So if I say 1, then we have to clap 1. If I say 2, we have to 3. And this game is I versus all of you. Okay? So ready? 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Minus. Yes, I won because somebody clapped. I heard it. Okay, great. So now, again, we're going to close our eyes and say I. Please close your eyes, aankh band kar le, or say I. Okay? Now, we'll play this game again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Congratulations, you guys all won. Give yourself a big round of applause and open your eyes. Yes? Fantastic. So this is the power of unity, the power of diversity. This is the power of my India and our India, right? I may not be blessed with an eyesight, but I am possessed with inner vision. Vision to inspire all of you to be an advocate of inclusion. Vision to appeal to all of you to implement inclusive design. Vision to appeal all of you to inculcate, yes, I can. Together we will grow for one powerful India which offers opportunity for all. There are 2 quotes which have worked immense wonders for me, and I would like to share the same with you, and perhaps it may help you. Helen Keller, quote, "Optimism is a faith that leads to an achievement. Nothing can be done without hopes and confidence." Quote number 2 from our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, "For things to change, first I must change." Ladies and gentlemen, may I appeal to all of you to ensure and to be the change agent and inclusive implement design of inclusive in your next project or in your existing project, not out of sympathy, not out of pity, because it makes business sense. As this would give you a larger access to the customer, which will add value to your top line and the bottom line. हम होंगे कामयाब, एक दिन पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब. To end, I'd like to just state that I'm here for the next 1.5 days, and I'd love to come and meet with you, and please invite me for other future opportunities. Would love to invite, because my vision is to ignite million Indians for a better India tomorrow, right? And to end, I'd like, because Vimy has been extremely kind and she's been sharing Seyr Sairi. I'm just sharing one last Urdu couplets. सीढ़ियाँ उन्हीं को मुबारक हो जिनकी मंजिल छत तक है. सीढ़ियाँ उन्हीं को मुबारक हो जिनकी मंजिल छत तक है. दोस्तों हमारी मंजिल तो आसमान है, रास्ता खुद बना लेंगे. So friends, let's collaborate. Let's dream for a powerful, strong India. Jai Hind! Thank you. I hope I was able to do justice.